Hello everyone, and welcome to CoF Path 2. This is not a speedrunning guide, it's simply a guide to help newer players running the path for the first time. When you spawn in, talk to the guy to open the gate, repair your armor if you need it, and then head down to Commander Suma down in the middle center. The rest of your team could head to the start of the path already, but mine decided to follow me. So because they followed me after the cutscene, talk to the person to select our path, and then hold off on selecting it until we're all over to the eastern doorway. Now if you stack, you can get all the mobs together just to make it easier to DPS them all down. These 3 mobs do hit fairly hard with their flamethrowers, but they shouldn't be too much of a problem. Head through the open doorway, and then run into the first room on the right to start the first section of this event. All you have to do is walk into it and then turn around and walk back out. And then you can either stand right on this, or you can stack around the stalagmite nearby. Once all these mobs are dead, head to the next room. Just walk in and walk right back out. This one will spawn quite a few burrows. You should split your team and leave 2 or 3 at the bottom and then put 2 or 3 in the middle. And then you can just work your way up as a split group. It would make it a little bit faster. The devourers do not have to die, just the nests. Once all the nests are dead, continue up the ramp and head straight to this next room. If you stack right around the corner, you can pull all the mobs to you as a single group. These 3 mobs also hit hard, but mainly just their fire lines. So just make sure you're not standing in one of those and you should be fine. And they will go down fairly quickly. After they're dead, make sure you run into the room and pull the chain. And make sure you stop to pull the chain, otherwise it may not activate. And then head into the final room for this area with the boss in it. We like to stack here just to pull him over into the corner, and then we're all stacked up and just DPS him down. There's nothing special about this boss. After a certain amount of time in the fight, he will spawn a giant devourer, but you don't even have to pay attention to it, and half the time you may not even see it. Skip the cutscene, and we pick up mags here, just in case. And on to the next section. You can just jump and avoid most of the ramp, and then where you started in the room, just take a right. Now on the screen, our first attempt at this is showing, and we get taken out because the event wasn't started on time and we were too grouped up at the top. So then we just respawn at the waypoint and run back. It's the same basic path, just head to the left once you get through the first doorway, and then res mags. Head back up to the top is where I like to start. We ran into an issue of some of our team not knowing what they were supposed to be doing here, and that's why we got taken out the first time. I like to start at the top because they're the hardest to get to and they take the longest. So if you can get rid of them quickly and early on, you don't have to deal with them later. And then finally we activate it and start dragging them back in. I tend to prefer the middle one, but it takes a slightly more organized group to pick the middle one up first. That you have to start it as soon as you're almost to it, so you don't have to deal with all the damage the whole time. So I go for the next one over first and then head back to that middle one, and then we're done with the top, and the rest are fairly accessible. Grab it and head across the bridge and drop down just to avoid fall damage. And then pick up the last one and head back. It should go quickly if all your team knows what they're doing. If not, you may have to try it 1 or 2 times, but it shouldn't be too hard to figure out. After all the bombs are turned in, a chest does spawn next to mags, which you should grab. I didn't. And then drop down to the aura site and just activate it. One person is all that's needed to do that, and then you can move on to the next part, which is crossing the magma fields. If you wait for Mags to finish all his talking, he'll head over to the magma fields and give you a squirt gun so you can put out all these fires, but I didn't see it being necessary, and you can usually make the run yourself, so I just start headed across. Just don't stand in the fire fields and you should be fine. Once you get to the other side, head up this little ramp and just hang out here for a minute for the rest of your team. Once your team's here, it's a pretty good chance that somebody's still in combat, so Mags won't come across yet. So all I did was spawn a smoke field and blast it so that everybody gets stealth. And then we just drop down and Mags starts to gather what he needs over here. After Mags gets what he wants, you get a waypoint back at the area with all the bombs. Just waypoint to that. And then head north across the bridge. One more event, and then we're at the final boss. Stack in the corner here and pull this first smoke lord to you, and then jump on him and DPS him down. They should go down fairly quickly. After the first one's dead, just jump right onto the second one and finish him off. And then you'll have to talk to Mags to start the next part. For this next part, you'll get a bunch of mobs spawning, as well as a handful of assassins will spawn periodically. They'll immediately stealth and head towards Mags. If they get to him, they'll take out a chunk of his health. You can mostly ignore the trash mobs and just focus on the assassins. Any AoE damage you have should take down most of the trash. It helps if your team all works together and targets the assassins. It just makes them easier to spot and lets everybody know they need to jump on it and start killing it. We do miss a couple assassins here somewhere. I'm not even sure what happened. I didn't see them. They must have been in the mess of mobs. It shouldn't take too long, but it is slightly time gated. I think it takes about 2 or 3 minutes on this part alone. And the assassins do spawn at a certain percentage, so if you wait too long you could get a bunch built up. Once you've sufficiently murdered enough assassins and Mags has had enough time to apply his kaboomium, the door will explode and you get access to the final boss chamber for this run. For this part, there are 4 acolytes alive, and you need to kill them all at roughly the same time. The closer the better, because they will respawn at separate times if you don't kill them all together. As you can see in the lower left, our first attempt, somebody takes theirs out early. It just results in you having no time to attack the center crystal. We actually had to reset the one in the lower left because the spawn times were so far off, and that you just run back out the main door and then head back in once the acolytes are back up. On the big screen, it's slightly better, but our times were still off, so we don't get as much damage on the crystal as we should have. And it's really just a matter of everyone spreads out to a single acolyte and you all say you're ready, and then somebody counts down and says go, or just say go. They don't have much health, so everyone should be able to take them down quick. So neither of these were very impressive for giving us enough time to attack the crystal. So finally we get a little more coordinated. Everyone waits for all the acolytes to spawn. Make sure everyone's at one, and then if everyone's ready, say go and take them all out at about the same time. And then we get some good DPS down on the Eternal Flame. As a melee character, you can stay here towards the top of the slope and be able to hit the flame. Just put as much DPS down as possible, and then you might have to do this 2 or 3 times. If you've got a good team of DPS, you should be able to take it down in just one go. Just take your time and make sure everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing, and it'll go a lot quicker. After it dies, you can pick up your chest and pick up your bonus chest. Once Mags finishes talking, It'll give you the daily bonus. I hope this helps, and thanks for watching. If you're interested in running any of the other paths, there are links on the screen now.